Doc Savage here, creator and CEO of Pro Wrestling Melee, and I'd like to personally thank you for joining us as we kick off Season 3 of the Pro Wrestling Melee game show. We've got a lot to get into, so let's start with our very first contest of the season. It will be Demastaplan, who in his debut bout at Melee Mania 2 won the Melee in the Bank contract, guaranteeing himself a shot at our champion. And originally he was set to face Melee veteran Ra, but Ra can't figure out how to use Google Maps, and it might have been the directions I gave him, but he ended up in Staten Island. So, in his stead, you will see the trivia beast himself, one of the breakout stars of Season 2, THC, collide with Demastaplan.
I would have to say Bret the Hitman Hart. And why Bret the Hitman Hart? Because at the time that he wrestled, one of the most consistent wrestlers in character, in performance. He was technical. Most people at the time maybe thought he might have been a little dry for the soon-to-be Attitude Era, but he deserved it. And in an era where that title, the heavyweight title, flopped around a little bit, I mean, you gave Diesel the longest run, but what did he do with it? You would have made Bret Hart the face of the company. It would have been in great hands, and maybe the Monday Night Wars wouldn't have even started if he would have had the company. But it was in such disarray. Should have been Bret Hart.
That's a great opening statement. Now, Demastaplan, who deserves to be the face?
All right. It is a very interesting choice that I have decided on. I'm gonna go with the Undertaker. Undertaker, who has been with the company since November 1990 Survivor Series. Ever since that day, has been consistently, never left the company, rarely took time off, just kept consistently working, building that legacy with every epic moment that he's ever given us, and it also stood the test of time. Evolved, adapted, changed his character, changed his style, and still to this day, even with the likes of Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, even an aging John Cena, Randy Orton, he is still there today. A man that has surpassed Austin, who surpassed The Rock, who's even surpassed Triple H. Still to this day, I say he has a legacy that Undertaker, that's it.
Why Bret over Taker? Because, well, Taker might have the longevity, but how many of those years were always wrestling? Bret Hart, when he wrestled for the WWF, always wrestling. House shows, TV spots. He did whatever he had to do, from coming into as a tag team to breaking out on his own, being one of the best faces ever in WWE, WWF history. And even when he turned heel, it was great. The Hart Foundation, it was great. The wars he's been in, classic. You could even say the match with him and Austin ushered in the Attitude Era. But at the time that Bret wrestled, it was Bret over anybody else, other than Shawn probably.
Well, first of all, with Bret Hart, he has the technical skills. He has the match skills. Overall, there's nothing against Bret Hart. But for Undertaker, you have to understand, he's been there since day one and has not left. Bret Hart, with reasons, left WWE to go to WCW because of the whole situation with Shawn Michaels, Vince McMahon, the Montreal Screwjob, and the fact that, we're asking for more money just to continue doing what you're doing. Undertaker, loyal to the WWF, loyal to Vince McMahon, loyal to the fans. That's what stayed. That's what kept him going. Bret Hart was loyal to wrestling, as was Undertaker, but Undertaker was loyal to WWF.
You both made great arguments, but I cannot deny the ferocity of THC's opening statements. I'm going to have to give THC that point. And now, gentlemen, with one question remaining, the master plan, you need to win this one to force a tiebreaker. Otherwise, you're about to get swept. Let's see what you got.
I would go with Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho was one of the top cruiserweights WCW has ever produced. His wrestling skills, as well as his personality and his charisma, I feel like that would have been an amazing rivalry with what he's displayed with Dean Malenko, what he's displayed with Rey Mysterio. I feel like he will give Finn Balor a run for his money.
I would have to say Dean Malenko. And the reason why I say Dean Malenko, because we look at Finn Balor's character right now. He's a face, he's a good guy. He's the little guy, he's the guy who overcomes the odds, the little guy who can still fight the big guys. Dean Malenko in WCW was a cruiserweight who basically killed all the high flyers. He'd put them in submissions. He was the heel who beat them up, just ragged, not even a cruiserweight style, just raggedly beat up these high flyers, these fancy flyers all around, put their legs in locks and everything. And if he would have been able to feud with Finn Balor, it would have brought the best out of Finn Balor, just the way it brought the best out of most of that cruiserweight division.
Jericho was a very interesting cruiserweight at the time. He challenged Dean Malenko, the man that was always serious, the man who was always had that ice cold stare. Jericho challenged that. Jericho challenged Mysterio and the Mask and his tradition, even went as far as to going out of his own division, challenging the likes of Goldberg and all these other heavyweights, just to grow out, just to challenge more.
I say Dean Malenko over Chris Jericho because the Lion Tamer was nice, but this is young Chris Jericho. This isn't Chris Jericho who got into his groove. This isn't Y2J. Dean Malenko arguably was in his prime in WCW. Coming into WWE towards the end of the prime, but arguably in his prime, the man of 1,000 holds. He said it, the stare, no joking around, get straight to business. Wasn't he a member of the Four Horsemen? And if I'm not mistaken, didn't he have the most reigns of the WCW Cruiserweight title? The man could wrestle with anyone, Ray, Eddie, Juventud, Ultimo Dragon. He wrestled the whole division and brought them all to greater heights. And he could do the same with Finn Balor. Not that he needs it, but he could do so much more with Finn Balor.
Great points by both of you, but the master plan, it might just be because you made your singles debut today, but you got bested by THC. Congratulations, THC. You're going to take home the next point, and that's a clean sweep to open up Season 3. I'd like to congratulate THC on a strong victory.